One of the biggest reasons people don't start investing is not due to fear. It's because of confusion. People don't know what to invest in, and there are thousands of stocks and ETFs to choose from, which can get very overwhelming. Today, I want to try to simplify things. I'm going to show you just 3 broad index-based ETFs that I genuinely suggest anyone to look into, whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned investor. A quick disclaimer before we get into the video. This video is for informational and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice, and be sure to do your own research and due diligence whenever making any sort of investment decision. Let's jump straight into it. So today I'll be showing you guys 3 different ETFs, and they happen to all be from Global X. And all 3 are leverage growth ETFs. And if you're familiar, leverage growth ETFs will actually give you optimal returns in the long term. This is because leverage on a upward trending stock or index will just boost your long-term returns. And so the first index or the first ETF that I want to show you guys is USSL, and this is the enhanced S&P 500 index ETF from Global X. And so S&P 500, as we all know, tracks the top 500 US large cap companies. And so it's pretty standard index ETF. So it's similar to like VFV or VSP from BMO. So if you look, it literally just holds 125% of the S&P 500 index ETF. And so if we do a quick performance comparison, so I actually have here a comparison between USSL, VFV, ZSP from BMO, and SPY, which is in the States. That's the one from State Street. And so if you look, in the past 2 years, the leveraged growth ETF, USSL, has significantly outperformed the other indices by approximately 5% over the last 2 years. So that's really good. The next ETF that I want to show you guys is QQQL, and this is the Global X Enhanced Nasdaq 100 Index ETF. And this is similar to USSL, but it's tracking Nasdaq 100 index instead of the S&P 500. So this is more tech focused and innovation focused, and it'll be more volatile than S&P 500, but it will produce more total return over the long run. So if you look at the holdings, it's also 125% of the Global X Nasdaq 100 Index ETF. And this is just a standard Nasdaq 100 ETF, like similar to your QQC or your QQQ or was the ticker ZQ. Here I have another total performance comparison. Oh, it's Z and Q. So Z and Q is a Nasdaq 100 ETF from BMO. QQC is another Nasdaq 100 ETF, and so is QQQ. And so if we look at the total performance here, we see the leverage version, slightly leveraged, modest leverage. It's not like your 2x leverage or your triple X leverage funds, where those are meant for short-term trading or options. QQQL is modestly leveraged, and so it's actually designed for holding over the long term. And so you see here it's beating the other indices or other index ETFs by a significant amount. It's like around 6-7%. So yeah, over the last 2 years. So actually I want to share a story. I used to hold QQC and VFV in 2020 when I just started investing. So when I just started investing, I only had two major holdings, and I had basically a 70-30 split between VFE and QQC. And I'm pretty sure if the leveraged growth version was there, then I would probably look into and hold those instead. But just having those two ETFs, VFE and QQC, was a pretty solid portfolio and has given me good returns over the last 5 years. And then, another thing is QQQL. I actually want to convert all my RSP holdings eventually to QQQL, and this is because I'm fortunate enough that I have time on my side. I'm pretty young, and so I can hold QQQL, and I can even hold through one or maybe even two crashes, and I'll still I won't need to sell, and I'll still come out on the other side with historically high returns. And the reason I'm doing it in my RSP only is because, I can't withdraw from my RSP, and so there's really no point in having income ETFs, in my opinion, for me, because I can't touch them, and so that's why I want to go to the leveraged growth route. And because I have time on my side, I'll just do QQL. A smarter way would probably doing all into HEQL, which is the third ETF that I want to tell you guys, which is a all equity fund. So it's also from Global X, and it's the all equity asset allocation ETF. And so it's leveraged same way as USSL and QQQL, but it doesn't just track one index, it tracks 6 different indexes. So if you look at the holdings down here, it is it's HEQT. Let's just look at HEQT. So you can actually for USSL and QQQL, you can actually look at the unleveraged growth ETFs if you want, but they're pretty standard, and that's why I didn't show you guys. But HEQT is a bit different because it tracks 6 different indexes, and so you can see it has the Global X S&P 500 index ETF, so the same. It has Nasdaq 100. It has the Russell 2000. It has the MSCI EAFE. I think that's the emerging markets or something. The emerging markets here. It has the TSX 60. So this might be like small caps or something, or international. I forgot. But yeah, so it has a lot of holdings, HEQT actually. And I had someone send me a screenshot where he approximated the number of holdings HEQT has. And so he came up with approximately almost 5,000 holdings in total, more or less. As this is just an approximation. Another famous all equity fund is XEQT, as you may be familiar with. I think there's like a Reddit server just for XEQT, because a lot of people are just like saying buy XEQT and chill. So to those people, I say, well, HEQL is actually a very good alternative. Let's look at the performance first. I have performance between HEQL, FEQT, XEQT, and VEQT. So these are all equity funds, and they're popular in their own way. FEQT actually has like 2 to 3% Bitcoin allocation, so some people like that. But XEQT is from BlackRock, and as I mentioned before, there's huge following behind it. But if you look at a total return here, in the last 2 years, HEQL has been outperforming all of the other total equity funds by a lot, by like more than 10%. I mean, yeah, 10%. And so like for the people that like XEQT, like here's a perfectly good alternative that's seemingly a good option because it's the same holdings. Like I did the research where XUQT likes to say on their site that they have 8,500 holdings, but if I show you guys a screenshot, I manually scroll through the holdings, and out of the 8,000, more than 3,000 holdings have less than 0.00% weight in respect to the total portfolio. So like it's pretty much the same. Like HEQL has about 5,000 holdings, and like so it's I just don't understand why people are overlooking HEQL and diving into XEQT or FEQT or stuff like this. In my opinion, all these leveraged growth funds, USSL, QQQL, HEQL, they're all underrated, and like people should really do the research and look at these great options. I've actually had or like helped people build their own portfolios, and I've had them use either USSL or QQQL, or actually I've had like one guy that helped. He's just all into HEQL, and so far that's been working very good for him. I really want to stress that these funds are pretty underrated, but they are really great actually. I actually wanted to address a concern that I sometimes see people having, and that is that they say that they're not comfortable investing in these newer funds, right? Well, like newer compared to the other index ETF options that we have. And I find that argument kind of silly because, well, the index is not new. And the indexes have a long reputation, right? And so that's why I'm perfectly okay with owning these leveraged growth funds if they just came out a few months ago. Obviously, they have about 2 years of history now, so that's a little good on their side. But yeah, I just don't get why people say that they don't want to invest just because it's newer. To give another example, it's like having two bottles of water and Aquafina brand or Kirkland brand, and then you go to a friend's house and they give you brand from another brand of water, and that brand just, I don't know, released maybe onto the market a year ago, and you refuse to drink the water because it's new. But it's the same thing, it's just different wrappers, right? Also these funds, VFV and ZSP and so on, these are all wrappers of an index, right? VFV is Vanguard's wrapper over the S&P 500, and ZSP is from BMO. Now USSL, QQL, HEQT or HEQL, they're all just wrappers. I am a huge proponent of these funds. If you watch my other videos or if you've seen my portfolio on Blossom, then you might notice that I personally lean towards income investing and holding income-focused ETFs. But regardless of what strategy you're doing, income investing, growth investing, or a hybrid approach like me, it's still very important to have an index-based foundation. And so in my next video, I'm going to talk about 5 income-focused ETFs that I suggest looking into if you want to build an income-based portfolio. So if income is your thing, then that's for you. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and comment down below what stock or ETFs are you holding and what's your reason for holding them. And if you want to keep following my journey to financial freedom, then remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.